September 24, 2025. This is the S&P 500 E-Futures Mini on the 2000 tick chart using NinjaTrader 8. This is what the chart looked like today. There was no economic data that I could see on the Forex Factory to really be aware of or to be careful. I took two trades today, and both of them, one was a win and one was a loss. And I'm going to get to that because something NinjaTrader sometimes does this. When I did a data reload, the setup that I thought I had was actually much worse than what I took. And it happened in both of the setups, which were taken right here. The total amount well, I didn't really find too many setups today, found some almost trades. Now, I also point out that yesterday I didn't make a video, but I also took two trades and I lost on both. So lately, I don't feel like I'm in tune with the market. I just seem to be off. For sure, I think it's stuff outside trading has been happening that kind of has been distracting or making me tired and etc. So that has affected my trading. I need to slow down, I think, especially after today. I lost one and then I won one. But if you look at the, I think, last few days of trading, I've kind of been hitting a funk where I've been losing or taking no trades. And it hasn't been that quite so smooth. So I just need to be very careful, I think, going forward. I don't think I'm quite in tune, as I mentioned, and I think that's causing me to be impatient and take terrible setups or just questionable setups or just not see the chart for what it is. So I'm just anticipating things, not seeing the bigger picture. So get into the chart right now. Oops. Oh, didn't mean to do that. Let me go ahead and didn't mean to zoom in that much. Okay. So the pre-market looked like it was a two legs down, a rally, another correction back up, sideways consolidation into the open. Now, sideways consolidation, there's really no setups here. I mean, if you're playing range rules, maybe, but the most of it happened in the pre-market. Then it sold off, broke with this orange down channel, tested low. You could say there's a new high, first entry long pullback, second entry long. Second entry long setup is kind of in the middle of nowhere. You could say if you had your channel slightly bigger, you could argue that it's moving back into the channel of a failed breakout, but it looked like it didn't really fit quite right there. So I actually had it, I think I had it something closer to this. So it looked like it was moving down, broke the orange down channel, kept moving down, hit the sideways consolidation. Let me go ahead and zoom in a little bit. It hit this new high. So this is very congested. And if you look at the size of this trading range, it's roughly about almost 3 points. And I'm going for 1 point scalp, maybe two, depending on the setup. And it doesn't look, it's just very hard to trade or get a scalp out. So it pushes down. You technically have a localized new high, first entry long pullback, second entry long right here. So it confirms the second entry long pushes up, pushes down. It hasn't technically failed yet or confirmed, so it could still be a failed breakout. I do have this yellow down channel drawn. It looks like it was a break, two pushes, and it looks like it could have tested the low. So I'm a little unsure if it's going to continue moving down. So I left it alone. So it's just something I noticed in real time. Mark it with an arrow. Pushes down, moves back into this yellow down channel. Potentially small breakout here. Okay, so this is kind of where some funkiness happened. It's hard to fully. I'll try to describe it, but this isn't what the chart looked like initially. So initially, I saw a new low here. I saw a first entry short pullback. I actually saw a second entry short, but after the data reload, which I did several minutes later, it looked much worse. But my setup was there was a green bar here, and then I had a red bar, a pretty strong red bar with a close at the low, pretty much almost touching the EMA. I will admit that the bar that I saw the signal bar was an inside bar to the green bar, but it pushed up, took back a majority of that green bar and closed at the low. The way I saw it was the break of this red up channel, and at the time it was a break and it tested the high, and that red bearish bar, which doesn't exist anymore. I should really look into try to start recording my trades. If anything, I could at least do a screen capture and show it before I do the data reset or the historical data reload. And even with the data reload, I'd be able to show the before and after. But this is supposed to be a red bar. I entered pretty much at the low of the red bar, looking for a quick 1 point scalp, pushes down, makes this triple bottom, and then reverses and stops me out. Stops me out. Uh, this bar, I mean, it stops me out a little bit high, but it should be. I forgot. I don't quite remember why I have my stop way out here, but if you look at this chart, it looks like it's just a ridiculous trade. And I'll admit it was a bad trade after the data reload, but I could make a stronger argument if I had the previous set. So it was a bad trade, took a loss on it. So then, again, I haven't done a data reload yet, so I'm seeing a visual second entry short. So I saw a visual first entry short pullback, second entry short. Now the signal bar, this is the signal bar. It actually, now this actually shows that it's lower than this bullish bar, but the signal bar that I had was actually the higher than this guy. And it looked like a visual first entry short, second entry short, and then it looked like it was a break of this red, push up, made a second attempt, and also closed pretty nicely near the lows. And I decided to take that trade. So as you can see, I actually got slightly better fill, entered here, pushed down, quickly got the scalp, and I did try to get a runner, but it didn't work. I mean, it just stopped out one tick below. So this looks very confusing, and I'll admit it looks confusing, but I'm speaking out or just talking about it. So if I review this trade in the future, I'll know why I took this seemingly ridiculous trade, and it does look quite terrible after the data reload. So prices are moving along. I noticed that my data lag was a little high, so I did a historical data reload, I think right about here, and also resynced my internal CPU clock. And then this is the final product, this ugly, ugly look, because it's a first entry short, second entry short. I would not have taken a trade right here if this signal bar, if this was my signal bar, and then I would not have taken a trade here if this was my signal bar. So after the fact, it looks like I'm a lunatic. I mean, no argument there, but it just looks like it was a pretty bad trade. There's no real reason to take this, but in real time, that was what I was seeing, what I was looking at. So I didn't do any more historical data reloads, and just going forward, this is kind of what I saw in real time with true intentions. Then prices look like it made two legs up, push back down, first entry long pullback, second entry long, bad signal bar. When you see a doji, it just looks a little congested. So it's a first entry long, second entry long. It creates this higher low. It's a localized low here. It's the first entry short, second entry short. It looks like it's a second entry short that's about to fail with a higher low. It's mislabeled. It should actually be a failed second entry short, not a second entry short. Now, it technically could be a new high visual first entry long, potential second entry long. And in this case, it would have worked, but it does feel a little side by side. Break of this green down channel made one attempt down. Seeing this in real time, I wasn't sure if it was going to make another leg down. And then since it never broke above, I wouldn't have an order ready. Prices move up, hits the high. I'm thinking there might be some kind of, since it had like a double top here, some kind of resistance up here. Pushes down. This just looks very congested. If you look at the timestamp, not timestamp, if you look at the prices, it's 67.16, 67.14, and 67.12. So there's only 4 points, but these candles are pretty much just moving side by side. It's not quite clean enough to say it's a nice trend. And if there's two legs, they feel very tight, so it just feels risky. Well, also after this data reload, I was just not feeling. I was feeling a little bummed, and I could feel pretty much getting upset, anger. I was definitely seething, and I needed to really be very careful because, as I mentioned, the last few days, I haven't been trading that well, and my trades, I've had a lot of losers in a row, and I just didn't like that. So, yes, the market has been slower, so I just need to adjust to that and not try to make a trade happen. And plus, seeing this, I was just a little frustrated that this happened because this is just looks stupid, and you know it was just really weird. So kind of a habit now. I'm going to probably reload the data much earlier, and then yeah, just try to do better. So then prices move down, pushes down on this big bar down. I didn't really know if there's any data that came out here to cause this. Looks like it was one leg up, pullback, creates a second leg up, pretty much a measured move, potential fail breakout, visual first entry short, second entry short. It's a doji, the follow through, doesn't convince me to take short yet, so I'm looking for a lower high now, ideally within the range. Pushes up and out, forcibly strong push back down. So I'm definitely looking for a lower high, but it never shows up. So it's a first entry short, second entry short, bad signal bar, so I wouldn't have tried to take a trade right here anyways. And I hit this sideways consolidation, break of this red down channel, tested the low, hits this consolidation, pushes back down. I don't have this drawn as a range yet. I just had a suspicion that this is some kind of resistance. I wasn't really confident it was inside a range yet. I had preliminarily drawn something early on right about here, thinking this is a range, and it started a little earlier or started a little later, something like this. But it broke out. Looked like it was kind of two big legs down. Hits this low of day. There's a new low, first entry short, second entry short. This isn't a good signal bar. I wouldn't have thought to go short. I was thinking there might be a lower high here, but this is bad close, pretty much neutral, side by side to this guy. And if it had closed to the low, I might have considered it, but then I'd be concerned about hitting some kind of support here. Pushes down and out. Moves down this red down channel. First entry long pullback. Technically you have a second entry long, but it's just kind of out in the middle of nowhere. First entry short makes a new low, so no real trades here. Pushes down. I thought initially it was going down this red down channel. And actually at this point I was thinking, was this the original range? But it doesn't really matter at this point because I'm not trading this range necessarily because it looked like price is just running away. So then it was moving down this red down channel, break, tested low. It keeps going. No clean way to enter. And it's kind of heartbreaking when you see something like this. Not, I take that back, not heartbreaking, but FOMO, because you feel anxious, especially when you're in the red like I was. And I'm actually just generally in the red now because from the past few days of trading. The first entry short continues down. I drew this yellow down channel. It looks like it might be operating in this range. The first entry short again, another first entry short, and just keeps going. There's no clear way to enter this. It'd be great if you were able to ride this somehow, ride this down. Hits this double bottom, starts reversing. I thought maybe there was this bigger red channel in play, but I wasn't that excited with it because it does have, starts here, it does have some confirmations here, one touch here, two touch, but then not really much going for it. So wasn't expecting a test of the low because I'm thinking the yellow down channel might have been tested, the lows. If it's playing this red down channel, maybe there's going to be a test of the low of the red down channel. But it starts reversing, pushes up, first entry short. Technically a second entry short, but doesn't form, for lack of a better word, fast enough that it kind of leaves you hanging and wondering when you see this. Then pushes down, kind of looks like it's ranging. So it looks like it's a break of the green up channel, test the high. Looks like it has two legs, two attempted legs down, localized high, first entry long pullback. You could say there was a potential second entry long here, but it's inside, so I'm a little cautious. The follow through is inside to this guy, so I'm even more cautious. It looks like bears and bulls are trying to figure their direction out. Again, this candle is even inside of this one, inside of this one, inside of this one. So seeing this in real time, I'm just extra cautious. It does have a potential fail breakout of maybe this range. And it creates a new low, first entry short pullback, second entry short. The second entry short I thought may have been a possible trade, but because if you even take it after the close, you do have enough room for a quick 1 point scalp. But I was actually looking for, because you have a fail breakout here to break out on this side, I was actually looking for another confirmation higher low, but this might have been a good enough setup to try to take. Pushes up and through. You have no idea this is going to happen though. The first entry long pullback, second entry long inside bar. Not that excited about that. Looking for a higher low now. And by the time it hits this high side, I'm not looking for a higher low because it's just too late, too far from the setup. Pushes back down. Moves down on this red down channel. Break. I'm expecting potentially a test of this low. It just gets a little noisy. Break of the green up channel. Test the high. There's no setup here though. It is a first entry short here. It gets choppy and it pushes back down. So it looks like a break of this pink. Made two attempts up. Now it's making two attempts down. Tested the low. Starting to reverse. You do have a higher low here. I was thinking this is a first entry short, hidden second entry short. The hidden second entry short, I couldn't justify taking a trade because technically it hasn't confirmed the second entry short yet. You need a break below this guy to confirm the second entry short, even though it broke higher and came back down, never broke below this guy or at least made a matching low. And I was thinking the down channel or the down momentum might have played out because the break of the pink, 2 attempts up, looks like it was already 2 attempts down. So this break of this orange has tested the high, so you're thinking maybe it's going to come back down, but it's just left me a little unsure because I was thinking there was a possibility of another leg up, so I just had to wait and see. Pushes down. It creates a second entry long, new high, first entry long pullback. This one pushes down, pushes up, engulfs it, creates a second entry long. This red up channel doesn't exist, but I had a preliminary potential trend line here, and it's third touch confirmation, but it just feels, because this had a previous doji, shows some indecision. It's the first time since these candles it broke above the EMA. So it doesn't feel like a very strong setup. So I'm looking for a higher low. It pushes up. You have a higher low here, but it's too far from the EMA now. Flushes down really strongly. I don't know what caused this, but now it confirms, or it looks like it's confirming my trend line. I turn it into this channel, but I'm not ready to color it in because the high side really doesn't offer too much confidence. Pushes up, pushes down, first entry long pullback. Technically, you have a second entry long here. It confirms. So it's first entry long, second entry long, but the confirmation trigger bar is pretty much a doji. EMA is sideways. It kind of fell outside this range, excuse me, this channel that I've drawn. So it's just kind of giving me some mixed signals that I'm not 100% sure I know what I'm looking at. Top sideways. It's a new low, first entry short. Technically, you have a second entry short with a failed breakout, but by the time this candle closes, it doesn't feel that there's enough room for a safe scalp because you can see the price 66.89 to 66.88. So even for a 1 point scalp, you'd be expecting prices to press out of this trading range and challenge the low. Not quite make it there, but get pretty close. And yes, there's a failed breakout here, but it doesn't necessarily translate to a failed breakout on this side. So I just kind of wasn't that excited about it, which is up and through. So if you did take it, you may or may not have gotten a fill, like an entry and a fill here. And if you didn't, you'd have to wait for this one to get your 1 point, maybe 2 point scalp, but you have to sit through this noise. And it's just, it'd be a very anxious hold. And plus, these candles took a little bit of time to open and close because throughout the day, I could tell price action was slowing down. So it wasn't a very volatile day. Then prices push up. Again, just have side-by-side candles. I drew this trend line, but it's already too late in the day, so I wasn't really anticipating taking any trades at this point. It never really quite confirms or convinces me that this is a channel that I should be playing. And it kind of pushes into the close. So another kind of lackluster day. I definitely affected. I'm hopefully going to try to reset my mind and be a little bit cleaner of my trades, be more patient, maybe just let trades go if it doesn't quite fit right, because I think I've been chasing setups and inventing setups, taking bad setups lately, and that has definitely affected my mental game, especially when I think I'm just probably tired. So this is unfortunate. Plus, when the data reload happens, it changes the setup. So it looks like there was an absurd reason to take these trades. So I probably need to do a data reload in the beginning of the day, probably ideally before the market opens, and just set it and forget it. And if I was going to take do another data reload, I'd just be more diligent about taking a snapshot so I can review whether the setup has changed. But after the data reload, I have to admit, if this trade setup was pretty solid and candles changed, it would have probably still looked reasonable as a trade. So that indicates to me that the two setups I took, probably even before the data reload, were a little more sketchy, a little more iffy, or I don't have my channels drawn quite right. So hopefully that was helpful.